It is July 1st, 2025. This is Mayor's Coffee Chat. I hope they're able to join me and get a little update. I'm just going to switch to the dashboard here, I think. Yeah, if you're here, if you could say hi in the comments, I'd appreciate it. You'll let me know that you're here. And it's a busy week this week, but then the month is a little bit slower, at least in a lot of ways. So this week, Largo celebrates Independence Day on the 4th of July over at Largo Central Park. The event starts at 6 o'clock, and the fireworks will go off shortly after 9 o'clock. You want to get there early, though. The weather pattern has been interesting. If it stays the way it's been the last couple of days, it should be nice because it's been raining earlier in the day and then a little bit cooler from 6 to 9 in the afternoon. Good morning, Doug. Good to see you. Um, and So we're hoping for a dry 4th of July celebration. You know, we've had many years where it pours at like 5 to 6 o'clock, and then it clears out, and the park just fills in with people. As you know, probably the best fireworks display in the county. It's up close and personal at Largo Central Park because, frankly, the fireworks go off right over top of the railroad area, and so great fireworks show. They always do a great job. There also will be live music, food vendors. There'll be a market, and it's all free. There is parking. On-site parking costs $10, and then there's free parking over at the middle school, and I think over at the high school they have a fundraiser there, so it's $5 to park at the high school. So the middle school is a little bit longer of a walk. Certainly, you can ride your bike over. A lot of people park on the street in downtown and then walk across. There's crossing guards over Seminole Boulevard. So you're encouraged to bring chairs or a blanket to sit on. You're not allowed to. You can have pop-up tents, but you have to put them down by 8:30. So if you're there at 6 o'clock and you want some shade, if it's sunny out, you can bring a pop-up tent, but you got to put it down by 8:30 so it doesn't block anybody's view of the fireworks. So this year, our Independence Day celebration is sponsored by Raising Cane's Chicken, Tommy's Car Wash, UFC Gym, and VEGER for pets. I think it's veg, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's VEGER for pets, and that stands for Veterinarian Emergency Group. So thank you to the sponsors to help make the fireworks possible. Remember, you can't have pets there or your own personal fireworks. You'll get in trouble for that. So most of our events in Largo Central Park are pet friendly, but when we're shooting off a bunch of fireworks in the air, we don't allow pets. So it's also train weekend this weekend. So 4th of July is Friday, and then it follows up with 2 days of train weekend. And then July is a little bit slow as far as events. There's summer camps going on, so there's all this stuff around that. We recommend that you enjoy one of our pools because it is hot in July, and a lot of people are busy with summer stuff, summer plans, and vacations, and it gets a little bit slow with the events. We do have the theater summer camp production later in July. I think they're doing Alice in Wonderland this year. It's always a great show. It's so impressive to see what these young people do in such a short period of time with their summer camp. They learn all the roles of the whole production, and then put on a really Class A production at the end of the camp. So that's going to be in late July, and there's a couple shows. So they usually get either sell out, and they certainly fill up. Good morning, Kara. And I said you should enjoy the pools. I'll talk a little bit more about our Southwest pool, which just opened this past weekend after a remodel. But first, I'm going to tell you about residential solid waste pickup. If you didn't get your solid waste out this morning, if your day is Tuesday and Friday, the good thing is you only have to wait until Thursday for them to pick up your curbside waste this week. So the second half of the week. Good morning, Shane. The second half of the week will be bumped one day forward. So if your day is Friday, it will now be Thursday, and if your day is Thursday, it will now be Wednesday. So don't forget that there's no residential pickup on Friday. So both those days get bumped forward one day. If your recycling is on Thursday, it moves forward with trash. And commercial is unchanged. So if you've got a dumpster, a commercial route, commercial pickups are unchanged this week. An update on Horizon. You probably have heard this, but we've got 3 leases for space on the first floor. Got a coffee shop, the Papa's Fresh Greek place, and then Parlor Donuts is the coffee shop, and then we also have Strahan's Ice Cream, which is super famous in this area. So we're excited about that. We do have a couple other letters of intent, so it's not completely penned yet, but I've got some exciting things coming, and we're still on target for a early October ribbon cutting. So we'll let you know more about that. It's going to be a big community celebration as Horizon opens up later this summer or this year. So Southwest Pool Grand reopening was on Saturday this past weekend. We had a great crowd over there from the swim teams to recreational folks to people that just do Zumba classes in the water, little kids and to older people, and just a good group of people at the grand reopening. So the pool had been closed for, I think a year, almost a year in total, and it's what was done was completely remodeled. So we had hired a company called Weller Pools. They happened to be the company that built Southwest Pool starting back in 1983, and so they took a lot of pride in just getting everything perfect. So we now have a completely it's like a brand new pool. All of the dive towers and the dive platforms have been fixed and redone. The bathhouses have been redone. We now have 2 restrooms that have a separate access for them. The bathhouses. In the past, we had to, if you were at a swim meet, this as a parent or whatever, you'd have to go into the locker room to use the restroom. So that's all a better situation now. And so we're excited. It's got both a chiller and a heater. It's geothermal. So right now the water temperature is a tepid 82 degrees. So it feels kind of chilly in there. I think it was maybe 84. I don't know. They said it was a little cool. So the competition swimmers like it a little bit cooler. Believe me, in July I like it a little bit cooler. So the pool is open. There are some. It closes a little bit early today, and I think tomorrow, because they're fine-tuning some of the pumping systems that held up the start or the opening a little bit. So they are doing a little bit of tweak maintenance type stuff. So it will be closing early today and tomorrow. But pool's open. Of course, Highland Family Aquatic Center is open too, so that's another great place to cool down. And that was all paid for with ARPA funds, so American Rescue Plan Act. So that was money that was sent out to communities across the country to help stimulate the economy and after COVID. So COVID money is what helped us pay for the pool. It's about $6.5 million in total. So let me see. Some people have asked about the development that they just broke ground across the street from Horizon in front of the Liberty Church. It's a project called Liberty Yards, an organization called Ardent Development. They're out of Atlanta. Purchased that from the church, and they're building a retail spot there. And it's going to have some rooftop dining on either ends, and then I think it's between 8 to 6 tenants, all commercial, probably some shops and some places to eat on either end. They have Foxtail Coffee, which I think there's one other location out in the ICOT Center in Largo. But Foxtail Coffee is coming into that development, and they will. They're a big organization, so that they've got some great prospects for that. So let me see. Hurricane season is full force. Yeah, if you've gone on the National Hurricane Center, you see this yellow blob over top of us and the north part of Florida. That means that it's. I had to look it up because there was no key on the hurricane for that particular color and hashing and stuff. But it is an area of residual frontal area that has a higher than normal likelihood of some development. So it's a pretty small likelihood. It's less than 20%. Dennis Phillips says he's not concerned, so I'm not that concerned. And even if something develops, it would most likely develop kind of over the state, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a tropical system to me. And then it would move off of the East Coast over, and it could develop on this side and just as a rainy type thing, and then move off the East Coast. Not really ready for real tropical storm development yet, according to Dennis Phillips. So, but anyways, it is hurricane season, so you need to start getting ready for that. I recommend that you have a plan, and the plan could be to shelter where you are. The plan could be to evacuate to a friend's house or family nearby. If you're in an evacuation zone, you have to plan accordingly. If you're not in an evacuation zone, you have to make sure that you know or you're comfortable staying in your house if you're going to. We experienced both Helene, which was storm surge, and Milton, which was wind and a bunch of rain last year. So those things are all kind of factors in which your plan is going to be. But if you do plan to stay, or if you plan to leave, you need to get stuff ready for that plan. So first aid kit, either fuel for your vehicles or fuel for your generators. It might not hurt to get a couple 5-gallon cans of ethanol-free fuel and have that at the ready for a generator if you need it for a generator, or even if you're going to be leaving town. It's not a bad idea to have a little bit of extra fuel. We hear those horror stories of people stuck on I-75 going north because Chiefland ran out of fuel or whatever. That would be on US 19, not I-75. But you know my point. So get some fuel now. And if at the end of the summer, if there's been no hurricanes and you still have the fuel, put it in your car and burn it. So ethanol-free fuel is just fine to burn through your car. So get those batteries and your flashlights and the non-perishable food. And also now's a good time to kind of figure out how you're going to harden your house. It's also a good time to look around and see what has to be put away or strapped down. Have a plan for your trash cans so they don't end up a block down the road. These are all things that you can kind of plan for. And then just before a storm and after the storm, there's some other things that you need to know. Before the storm, you want to make sure everything's tied down or whatever so it doesn't blow away. You want to get your shutters up if you have shutters. Now's a good time to get hurricane clips, because if you try to buy them right before that, hold plywood in front of your windows, try to buy them right before the storm, they'll be sold out, I guarantee. And then after the storm, you want to make sure that you know how to separate any debris. If there's branches down and yard waste, and God forbid you get some water inside your house and you've got household waste that you want to put on the curb, there's some directions on the city website on how to separate that. And what that does is it helps us pick it up a lot faster, because we've got different crews for different stuff. So take a look at that. Let me see, that might be all on my list. Yeah, that's all that I had. So I hope all of that hurricane information is for naught. Good morning, Mary. It's good to see you. And we will, hopefully we have a quiet hurricane summer. I hope that I see you guys at the 4th of July celebration over at Largo Central Park. Like I said, bring a chair. You're encouraged to bring a chair or something to sit on, a blanket or whatever. and leave the dogs and fireworks at home, and again, fireworks go off right after 9 o'clock. So show up sometime between 6 and 9, grab some great food, and we'll see you then.
My name is LaRon Roberts. I'm a solid waste driver for the city of Largo. My role is I'm what they call a claw truck driver. So we drive around picking up bulk items. So anything that doesn't fit in your trash can, we're the one that pick it up. Refrigerators, cabinets, dressers, couches. I got diagnosed in 2019 by my doctor running regular lab tests. And he saw that my kidney functions were off. And then you know how they do, they ordered more tests. And then eventually they determined that I had a genetic disease and that my kidneys were starting to fail. And so in 2023, they called me up one day, said, we got lab work, doesn't look too good, come to the hospital. And that's when they put me on dialysis. I had to have surgery. That the day they called me to the hospital and they admitted me, they had to put a port in my stomach. And what it is that every night I hook up to this machine, and then in the morning, the theory is that it got all the toxins out of you. They don't make it easy getting on the transplant list. I've been trying for almost 2 years now. I finally last month got on the list. And that means that now I'm able to receive a kidney. I go through Tampa General, and they have you go to their website, the Live a Donor Program, and what it is that you can call them, and if you want to be a donor, they'll send you out to a blood kit. You take that kit to either Quest or LabCorp. They'll test it and let you know if you're a match. So having a kidney would help me live a better life, so I can do more things with my kids. So I don't have to do 9 hours a night of dialysis. Because, I work 10 hours a day. I get off at 5, get home about 5:30, and then at 8 o'clock I have to hook my machine up. So that only really gives me, 2.5 hours of time to rest before I have to be on that machine all night long. So, it's very challenging. Some days, it's a struggle, but life happens, and I'll get through it, and hopefully when I get my kidney transplant, I'll have a better life. What gives me hope? To know that, because when I go to my doctor, I'm in the waiting room with other people with kidney disease, and I see that they have lived long lives, long happy lives, and sometimes you talk to them because sometimes you're waiting there, half an hour, 45 minutes to see the doctor. And they tell you their stories and how they had kidney disease and they got a kidney transplant. And now they're doing well and they're living happy lives. And that this is only a temporary setback in your life, that it doesn't have to define you. It doesn't mean that this is over. Because when I first got diagnosed, you know how you go in that I'm gonna die kind of mindset. But then you realize and you start talking to people that, no, this is not the end. Yeah, what gives me hope is knowing that there's other people out there with the same disease that have lived long, happy lives.
Hey there, I'm Eileen, and I'm excited to share with you what's happening in the city of Largo, where we're working every day to be the community of choice in Tampa Bay. Guided by our values of integrity, collaboration, passion, and creativity, Largo has been strategically partnering with other agencies and organizations to get more done for the community. Largo understands that when it comes to getting things done for you, we're not alone. And when it comes to building a community, we rely on strategic partnerships. I'm at the Homeless Empowerment Program in Clearwater, which is just one of the community partnerships we'll be learning more about today, while we highlight just a few wins from this past year that have made 2024 worth celebrating. Largo wants to proactively and compassionately serve those experiencing homelessness. And Largo Police Officer Stephen Melandro and Homeless Outreach Specialist Todd Nutbrown are just two of Largo's many team members who are on the front lines of this mission every day.
Our primary goal is to help individuals first. I will approach them with, how can I help you? How can we help you as a team, the City of Largo, between myself, Todd, Officer Stamper, all the resources, what it is you're going through, and are you willing to accept those resources? And if you are, we'd be more than happy to guide you and get you to that finish line of hopefully permanent housing, which is the ultimate goal. With Todd on board now and working, synergistically with him and how we're able to accomplish this together, I will do outreach. I will make contact with the individual. I will advise them, hey, how long have you been here? Where are you from? Have you heard of Pinellas Hope? Have you heard of the Homeless Empowerment Program in Clearwater? Let me get you in touch with Todd Nutbrown. He is connected with these resources and he'll be able to get you in.
One outstanding example of a partnership that's helping those experiencing homelessness is HEP, or Homeless Empowerment Program. Aided by the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, this program is providing resources and support.
What I love about that program is, they have the dental office there, they have a medical office there, they have a business management aspect where it helps people get the actual job, professional development, clothing. They have a thrift store because it helps, you can't go to an interview without the clothing. So they have all these entities, plus they have the residential aspect, and then they have a meal hall type area. A lot of the times I think with this program what I've seen is so powerful is a network of people or people going through a like situation can kind of see each other in each other's way, and as they progress through the program they can see hope.
And the Homeless Outreach Team is much more than just Todd and Officer Melandro. They meet regularly with other officers and team members across departments, such as the housing team, to strategize, brainstorm, and follow up.
We have the officers and myself, but we also have our manager and the housing team, and we all kind of talk together about trends, things we're running into, any barriers, any developments we need to develop relationships.
And just the way we all work together as a team, it couldn't align more well with our city values of passion, integrity, collaboration, and creativity.
It could come in a text or it could become a call.
I just want to say thank you, man. You guys are the greatest, man.
You think the call's coming in because they need more help, but they're actually thanking you. You just stop for a second, take a breath and go, that's why we do what we do.
Largo's proactive efforts to help those experiencing homelessness has resulted in many amazing success stories. And you can learn more about a few of those, as well as contact the Homeless Outreach Team at largo.com/homelessoutreach. Another outstanding partnership that's bringing you better public health and safety is Largo's collaboration with Pinellas County to pave the way for a brand new fire station in Southwest Largo. The current Station 39 was opened in 1979, and with continued growth comes the need for facilities that can house more firefighters and vehicles.
We've been able to collaborate with Pinellas County. They've worked with us to allow a land swap with the City of Largo. So the land swap is the new location where the fire station will go, and the swap on this side of it will be the existing land will revert back to Pinellas County. But also there's funding involved for that facility as well. It's just over 14%, and that is due to us serving the unincorporated area. The new fire station is going to have 3 apparatus bays. It'll have 8 individualized bunk rooms. You're gonna have a day room, you're gonna have a fitness room, you're gonna have increased storage capacity, and it's a design that's long-term. It's planning for the future growth. That's the beautiful part of this relationship with Pinellas County and the City of Largo, that we were able to find land within the coverage area where we needed it to best serve the citizens. The Fire Station 39 is going to be the result of working closely with Public Works, information technology, engineering, construction. We've worked with everybody that you can think of in the city itself, other departments for input and putting this together and designing it. So and also with feedback from the firefighters that will actually live and reside in this fire station in the future. They had a huge amount of input and say on how we designed and created this future station.
Construction is underway, and the new Fire Station 39 plans to have trucks in the bay and be responding to calls in spring 2025. The City of Largo believes superior services that inspire community pride begin with superior team members. And that's why we've taken a comprehensive approach to training and developing Team Largo. And we are excited to be implementing Largo Learning, a training program that builds off of the already highly successful HPO, or High Performance Organization model.
Every team member has a voice, and we are all leaders in the organization. So the HPO competency model was developed through a partnership with our executive leadership team, team member surveys, and Blue Beyond Consulting. It outlines knowledge, skills, and abilities needed to implement HPO into our services. There are 5 tenets of the model: foster teamwork, drive results, build trust, growth mindset, and strategic focus. There's a unique learning path for each of the 5 competencies based on the team member's role, from frontline team member through executive management. We have a total of 5 role-based learning paths for each HPO competency. Think of it as a curriculum, right, where it's a series of courses and the learning paths are structured for each level of the organization, and they combine both online training as well as instructor-led classroom facilitation. It shows that we are committed to providing team members with the tools to be successful and realize their potential. HPO showed us what we need to do to be a high-performance organization. The competencies and the learning path help team members understand how to be high-performing.
As Largo continues to grow, developing team members is essential to fostering a culture of innovation, engagement, and continuous learning to serve you both now and in the future. And Largo continues to invest in the future through sustainability and resiliency projects, like solar power at city facilities and increasing the fleet of hybrid and electric vehicles, like the Chevy Bolt and Ford F-150 Lightning. This new addition is not only powering itself, but also powering outdoor events, like Largo Live, all with 0 emissions. Largo is also investing in future infrastructure and community streets with roadway projects like Rosary Road. And if you haven't been to downtown Largo lately, then you may have missed out on seeing private developments take shape, like the Skyview townhomes near the corner of West Bay Drive and Clearwater Largo Road. And we like to think the best is yet to come, and we want you to get involved and stay connected to the future of Largo's budget priorities and more by visiting largo.com/budget.
We're jet cleaning the storm line, and we're vacuuming out the storm inlets of any debris.
So when we do have a rain event, the water flows freely out of the streets and no backups.
We're using the drone to do pre-storm inspections.
We're here today, we're mowing the ditches for the water to flow.
I'm cleaning debris from the storm gutters so water can run freely to the storm drains.
The City of Largo is getting ready for storm season, and so should you. It's time to start making your plans and gathering your supplies. Be prepared by visiting largo.com/stormready today.